So a sleep disorder is actually a medical problem that affects the sleep patterns of an individual, and it's different from when you just can't fall asleep one night, I guess, I'm told. So here to put the confusion to bed, psychologist Dr. Christopher Charles and consultant psychiatrist, Dr. Jeffrey Walker. Dr. Jeffrey over there in the bright shirt. Good morning to you both.
Wake you up. Good morning.
Welcome to Smile Jamaica. Dr. Jeffrey, you not so look like you, some wide awake.
That's all right.
To be honest. Let me start with you, sir. There are different kinds of sleep disorders?
Yes, there are many sleep disorders, but when you mention that, the first thing that comes to mind for people generally is the common ones.
Insomnia.
Insomnia, jet lag, shift work disorder if you work at night, and so on. So there are a lot of them, but the people more relate to it when you identify the common ones. For example, sleep paralysis, which is not very well known, which is when you're falling asleep or waking up, you feel like someone is holding you down. And in the Jamaican cultural context, it is taken to be spirit holding you down, but it is actually sleep paralysis. And all you need to do is actually just move a toe or a finger and you snap out of the paralysis.
Let me kind of take them one by one. Insomnia is what?
Well, insomnia really speaks to alteration in the sleep pattern. Usually normal sleep hours within 6 to 8 hours uninterrupted sleep during the night, and you go through several phases. So any disruption within that pattern, that usually results in levels of distress or dysfunction in the daytime. Now you can have early insomnia, middle insomnia, or late insomnia. In other words, you get to bed, you have difficulty falling asleep, you fall asleep but you wake up in the middle of the night and have difficulty getting back to sleep, or you fall asleep and you only sleep for a shortened period and you wake up and can't go back to bed at all.
What caused that?
No, there are varying issues, because insomnia can be primary or secondary. Secondary insomnia is where I come in, because that's now usually due to mental disorders, depression being the most recognized. Depression usually causes middle insomnia. So if you're going to bed, waking up in the middle of the night and having difficulty getting back to sleep and feeling low energy in the daytime, it's likely that
that is secondary.
Secondary, so depression. So primary insomnia really speaks now to interruptions in your circadian rhythm. Sleep is a very complex thing. We keep thinking that it's one entity, but it's actually not. You go through several cycles throughout the night, and you move from different levels of alertness or consciousness. In fact, there are 4 stages that you go through. 3 what we call non-REM sleep stages, where you have decreased activity gradually over time. And then REM sleep, which is a very paradoxical thing, because in REM sleep, your brain is actually very active, but that's where you get the paralysis now, because your body is actually paralyzed, and that's normal. And
That's
REM sleep
normal.
is where you dream.
You can act out a dream.
All right. The next one now is jet lag, Dr. Charles, but I read this and it don't make any sense to me. I'm sure it will make sense to you. Flying east is usually more difficult of an adjustment than westward travel. What does that mean, please, sir? Flying is not just flying.
Well, the jet lag actually means that your circadian rhythm, your body clock, your sleep-wake cycle of 24 hours is not in sync with when you cross time zones, so it becomes worse. So when you cross time zones, you find that you're now waking up, your body is attuned to the old time zone. And
so I'm waking up when I normally go to sleep type of thing.
Yes, and so on, and it becomes a problem.
But that is just something temporary, isn't it?
Yes.
How long it take to get over that? A couple of days or what?
It's difficult though, because for example, if you have a 5-day conference and you're leaving from here to China, and you have five days of jet lag, it affects your functionality. And so it's something that, depending on how it's going to affect you, if you're going to be in China for a month or 2 months, then certainly you can get over it. But if it's going to be 5 days and you need to function, then you may actually need to address it.
Okay, what is obstructive sleep apnea? What's that?
It's the man for sleep disorders now.
Okay, actually it's obstruction of your upper airway when you're sleeping. When you're sleeping, sometimes you have complete obstruction of your airways while you're sleeping, and it's apnea, or partial obstruction of your airway.
Well, that not could kill you.
You wake up, but it's very problematic because it decreases oxygen to your brain, and you have fragmented sleep, you don't sleep well. And with obstructive sleep apnea, because you wake frequently, and an event ranges from, say, 10 seconds to just over a minute. And what it does, when you, as far as you are concerned, you slept. But when you wake up, you really feel tired. It is because you have fragmented sleep and you woke up frequently throughout the night. So you wake up very tired, and it's very dangerous in the sense that it's related to systematic hypertension, and it's also related to type 2 diabetes.
So that's what would cause it?
It makes those things worse.
Okay. Okay. What about the folks, my friend, what about the folks who have like bladder problems and they get up in the night to use the washroom?
Well, usually that's not a primary sleep problem. In other words, mainly what you're talking about are the diabetics.
Right.
So those are the ones that usually get up frequently, and it's usually an indication of needs for adjustment in management of the disorder. But what tends to happen for you to get the best sleep is for you to regularize all of these activities. And there are certain practices that you can do during sleep hours to minimize this. So don't drink a lot of fluids 4 hours before going to bed. Ensure that you stay well hydrated throughout the day, and you also develop a systematic pattern where you wake up after 4 hours. You can condition yourself to get up, go to the bathroom for 2 hours.
I hear about people who sleepwalkers, which amazes me. Are you suggesting that I'm fast asleep and I just get up out of my bed and just walk or somewhere?
Again, the physiology you have to understand. During REM sleep, your brain is as active as it is in your wake cycle. In other words, your dreams are as real to you as any stimulus.
But I am fast asleep.
But you're paralyzed. In other words, you're fast asleep. In other words, there's a mechanism that paralyzes your muscle and that causes you not to be able to act out these activities in your dreams. Now, if something goes wrong with that mechanism, then you will do all the things that you normally do.
Hold on, no, man. Dr. Walcott, if I'm fast asleep,
yes,
and I'm being very serious, in a sense, isn't my body
your body
dead?
Is paralyzed.
Right, so how I get up and walk then?
But there's a fault in that mechanism. In other words, there's a pathway that causes that paralysis. It's not something that happens during the daytime, so it's very specific and very carefully organized. Now, if something goes wrong in the paralysis process, during REM sleep, when you're going through the dreaming process, you will be moving, slapping people and jumping up and down.
Is that prevalent? Is
not
no,
quite common.
So if I'm dreaming that I want to get something in my car?
Most of the time, you are paralyzed when you're in REM sleep, because that's how the mechanism works. So you don't act out your dream. For sleepwalkers, they don't have that mechanism.
But if I'm a sleepwalker, and again I'm being serious, and I'm dreaming that I want to get something in my car, or I leave my phone in my car, I just get up fast asleep and just go in my car for the phone and go back in my bed?
Yeah, there's a case in the U.S. where the husband, in the morning, he saw a condom in the bedroom, and he realized he didn't have sex with his wife the night before. He doesn't normally use condoms. So he tracked her one night when she was sleepwalking, and he followed her, and when he arrived, he saw her having sex with a complete stranger, and she was all asleep.
It's not very common.
It's not very common, but I'm just saying.
So let's not be too.
So it is. That's not the general case, but I use this example to.
You can't finish the story. When your husband do after that? but that's real. Right?
It is.
Wow.
And you also have sexsomnia.
Sexsomnia.
Yeah.
Well, this is a morning program first, but this sounds even more interesting.
It's a bona fide sleep disorder where you're asleep, but you're able to have sex with your partner. You have no memory of it when you wake up in the morning. And there are cases where the person...
I have no memory of who I had the sex with?
No, that you had sex. And there are cases where people who have the disorder have been accused of rape. And they've gone to
sleepwalking can be cured?
Well, they can be managed. Most sleep disorders can be treated. In other words, you have different approaches. You have certain psychological techniques that we can train you, proper sleep hygiene, and of course you have some pharmaceutical agents that can aid you in preventing the problem from escalating. And one that we don't mention a lot is narcolepsy also. Not as common, but when it does occur, it's very devastating. And we have drugs for that. That's where you fall asleep at the drop of a hat. In other words, you're talking during the day, you just... Not even as you sit. Sometimes while you're standing, you just fall asleep. And that can be dangerous. So.
That's incredible.
Yeah, man.
That's incredible. Great to see you guys. Thank you so much for coming.
Our pleasure.
Whoa, fantastic. Psychologist, Dr. Christopher Charles, and consultant psychiatrist, Dr. Jeffrey Walker. 10 minutes to your health. We'll do it again next Thursday.